Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the fights for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, Season 3, Episode 1. So without further ado, let's predict these fights. And these fights are coming up pretty soon. Really, it's going to be tomorrow. Not even really. It is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, these fights will come on. So I'm going to be predicting them, get it out of the way. So let's start it off. So in our first fight, we got in the heavyweight division, Yorgan De Castro versus Alton Meeks. You got a guy with really no background versus a guy who has a wrestling background. Castro really no background, Castro has really no background, then Alton Meeks has a wrestling background. So yeah, that's what it is. Yorgan Castro can fight as low as middleweight, has fought as low as middleweight, so he's been fighting and jumping around the weight classes. He's undefeated, so is Alton Meeks, but yeah, he's been jumping around the weight classes. So you can see that he could go down in weight. But look at his skill set, it's really like he doesn't have any skills that would really put him in any place in any of these divisions. Like if you go down to middleweight, he would still be small and he would be slow, wouldn't have the technique to really do well at middleweight. Same with at light heavyweight. In at heavyweight, yes, he might not be the slowest, but he's still nowhere near the fastest. Still way undersized. Technique still not up to par, and he would get tore up. He might do decently at best at the very, very lowest of the entry level of the heavyweight division, maybe, if he can improve some things. But from what I see, just poor footwork, not the best power, especially at the heavyweight division, not the best technique, gets himself off balance a lot of times with strikes, or puts himself, in a position where he gets easily set up for takedown. I'm not saying he got taken down yet like that, but you're going against a wrestler like he's going against Alton Meeks. You get yourself offside like that, you get yourself off angle like that, a wrestler's going to take you down. And Alton Meeks, even though I'm not that impressed by him either, he does have a wrestling background. I see his skill set is more like his wrestling level is more like it's stuck at a high school level. It never really advanced to a college level, or a stud in college or a stud at the world level. He might have like a stud in high school level wrestling, but that's good enough to have the level changes, the basics, to just get the fundamentals down. And he should be able to get those takedowns on Castro when he overextends or gets himself off angle or crosses his feet or anything like that, or just puts himself in a bad position with how he throws his strikes or loading up too much. And Alton Meeks should be able to get some easy takedowns. He's a larger man by like 40 pounds. Put that weight on him and make it a very hard night for Castro. And I see Alton Meeks just getting several takedowns and just smothering Castro to a decision. So in this fight, I have Alton Meeks via decision. Now on to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, Bill Algeo versus Brendan Logan. So in this fight, we got two solid fighters who have a lot of experience for a lot of UFC fighters. I think mostly they lost to these UFC fighters or former UFC fighters. But look at them, like they're pretty even. They have similar records as far as what they accomplished and what they haven't. Both of them seem to prefer to strike, even though they have some submission victories. But look at it, it's two fighters that are very close in skill and similar in style. But I just think Brendan Lahane is just a little bit cleaner. Though his technique a little bit sharper, a little bit better foot movement. And that's going to really be the point of it. His lateral motion is a little bit better. Technique just a little bit cleaner, a little bit crisper. And that's going to allow him to really dictate the pace of this fight. Chew up Algeo's lead leg, angle off, land some strikes. And it's really just, like I said, just be the cleaner striker. Just that little small margin of being, just that little bit better. Really, that's really it is coming down to. He's just a little bit better, and that could take you a long way in this fight. There's a lot of stuff there, like Algeo's a little bit closer. Algeo lost to a little bit guys as far as the UFC opponents he lost to. They're in the UFC right now, whereas Lahane's fighters he lost to, most of them really have been out of the UFC. But I don't know. That's besides the point. It's really the same. It comes down to Lahane being just a little bit cleaner. And I think that's going to allow him to win a close, hard-fought decision. So in this fight, I got Brendan Lahane via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Kaylee Robbins versus Hannah Goldie. So looking at this fight, you got two solid fighters right here. Hannah Goldie's got a weird record, or at least how they're putting her on these sites. Like Sherdog has her at one record, the other site has, like Tapology has her at 4-0. But I'm gonna go with Tapology. She's 4-0. I think was 3-1 in the amateurs, but solid records on both women. Hannah Goldie's about 10 years younger than Kaylee Robbins, who's about 33, 34, and Hannah Goldie's about 24, 25, something like that. So nearly a 10-year age gap between these two. And looking at Kaylee Robbins, I'm really gonna get to the not even to the nitty-gritty, but just get to the point of this fight. I think Hannah Goldie's a bad style matchup for Kaylee Robbins. I think Kaylee Robbins might be a little bit more technical and all, but Hannah Goldie will be the bigger, stronger fighter, the younger fighter. And Kaylee Robbins, in one of her fights against Hannah Cipher, showed that she has a bad, she doesn't do the best against bigger or at least smothering fighter, because Hannah Cyphers wasn't big in her, but she was able to smother her, keep her against the cage, and really now allow her to move. Or really, Kelly Robinson didn't really show any real good ability to move laterally, because she was like she couldn't move to the side. She would just stick her back on the cage and allow Cyphers just to keep pushing her back. Like she act like her controller was broken. She couldn't move left or right, but she was stuck on that cage. Even when Cyphers wasn't doing, like she allowed Cyphers to move straight on a straight line and keep her against the cage. No ability to move laterally at all. And Hannah Goldie is a smothering fighter, and she will be able to do that as well. Try to smother against the cage, throw a lot of volume, and keep her against the cage, and just pretty much be on her the whole time, trying to manhandle her. And that's just, I just see a bad style matchup, or at least a style advantage for Hannah Goldie. And I'm gonna say Hannah Goldie just kind of applies a lot of pressure to this fight, and this will be the bigger woman, stronger woman, and keep her against that cage and stay in her face the whole time. And I see Hannah Goldie winning the decision. So in this fight, I have Hannah Goldie via decision. Now to our co-headliner for this first Tuesday Night Contender Series card for this season 3. We have in the welterweight division, Brock Weaver versus Leon Shabazian. Two pretty young fighters. Shabazian is about 23. Brock Weaver is about 27. So both in their 20s, both solid, both have a lot of skills. But looking at this fight a little bit deeper, Brock Weaver, or not even deeper, just looking at it pretty broadly, Brock Weaver just fought Crazy Horse not too long ago, maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago, and fought him to a split decision. So Crazy Horse, who's been around the game forever, never been the most technical guy, either pushing late 30s or 40s. I mean, either his late 30s or early 40s, and you fought him to a split decision. That's not a good look. And looking at that fight, not even just looking at the record, looking at the fight, Crazy Horse was able to touch him several times on the feet. He didn't drop him or anything, but he touched him several times on the feet, was able to get a couple takedowns in that fight, was able to defend a lot of his submissions, and Brock Weaver showed a lack of ability to get off his back. And going against Shabazian, who will be the longer fighter. Oh, another thing, he showed bad lateral motion, because Crazy Horse was able to push him back. He didn't show he couldn't step off to no side, couldn't angle. He would just allow Crazy Horse to push him back. A fighter who's much shorter, much older, definitely not a Crazy Horse he used to be athletically, because he's pushing for 40 now, an older fighter. And he showed a lack of ability to move laterally. And that's a bad sign of versus that's bad when you're going against a guy who's longer than you and who has a better boxing than you. Shabazian comes from that Edmond gym where there's a lot of boxing going on, and he shows it in his fights. Good jab, good straight, good mixed shots to the body. And you're going straight back. You can't really have no lateral ability. Now you're fighting a guy, you getting touched by a guy that much shorter than you. Imagine you're fighting a guy that's 2 or 3 inches taller than you. You're going to be getting caught going straight back like that with your chin up. So that's really just a bad style. Then also getting taken down and not being able to get back up. And Shabazian is pretty solid on the ground. He's pretty scary on the ground. I think Weaver is confident on the ground himself, but I think Shabazian just a tier above him on the ground. So I really see Weaver's lack of lateral motion allow him to get tagged by that jab, getting tagged by that straight. Vincent getting caught, clipped, buzzed up. Shabazian going for a takedown and being able to submit him. I think he breaks him down over the course of that first round. I think he manages to hurt him, get him down, and submits him in the second round. So in this fight, I have Leon Shabazian via second round submission. Now on to our main event. We have in the welterweight division, Punahele Soriano versus Jamie Pickett. But again, this fight, let's see. Jamie Pickett is the older fighter, I think 31. Punahele Soriano is somewhere in his mid-20s, I believe. Jamie Pickett will have a 1 inch height advantage. Punahele Soriano is 6 feet tall, maybe 5'11". Jamie Pickett is 6 feet, 6'1". Punahele is the younger, hungry fighter. And for these younger, I wouldn't even say hungry, but these younger fighters, they have ability to evolve quickly. Even from just one fight, they could be a whole different fighter. They could change their style and just be so much different than what you saw before. But I'm not going to lean to what I this whole in betting on, or not betting on, just picking him just off what he could be. I'm going to just pick him. I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to judge him based off what I've seen from him. That's what I'm saying. I'm not judging him based off what he can be. I'm judging him off what I've seen. So, like I said, he has that youth factor about him. But so far, what I've seen from him, average, really all around an average fighter. He has some decent power. His grappling is average at best. Hasn't really fought the best competition. Obviously, he's building his record. He's a young fighter. He's building his resume. But he hasn't fought really so with that goal, is not really fighting the best competition. So okay takedown offense, okay grappling, decent power. That's a good thing that he can build on. issue I had with him is that he kind of falls over his punches. Like he just ducks his head down and throw punches and just kind of come forward and just throwing punch. Like he fought some guy that could throw a flying knee on him, he could get knocked out real quick, or somebody that try to go for a Muay Thai clinch, or maybe somebody with a good jab, catch him when he's like dipping his head down, when he pops back up, catch him with straight. It's a lot of different things. You could catch somebody that just fall in with their head a lot. And I think Jamie Pickett, being that longer fighter, he could catch him a lot. So he could catch him with a knee. I seen him throw like little knees to the face, like little check knees. He throws push kicks. He's the longer fighter. He's the more technical fighter. But again, on Jamie Pickett, he's not all positives. I have an issue with him as well. He kind of goes straight back a lot of times, and that might get him caught by one of those little ducking punches, like ducking overhands or ducking straight, if you're just going to keep going back with him. But he is long. He does use kicks, so that might keep that range established a little bit more. And I like Jamie Pickett. I think from what I've seen with his grappling, he's actually the more technical grappler. Soriano's wrestling didn't look that impressive. His grappling looked that impressive. So I think Jamie Pickett's grappling is the better. He's the better grappler in the fight. He's the better technician fight. He's the longer fighter. And I think overall his striking is much cleaner than Soriano's. So I think he can keep that distance, tag Soriano. He can come in with those little step-in straights and just angle off. Sometimes he does angle off when he does his strikes, but when he's defending, it's like he goes straight back. But when he's striking, he looks very solid, very clean. And I'm going to lean towards that. I think Jamie Pickett's cleaner striking, establishing that range. Pretty much the range of strikes he has, mixing up, will cause Soriano a lot of issues. And I think he catches him, Soriano being over aggressive, drops him, and finishes him off in that second round. So in this fight, I have Jamie Pickett via second round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the first episode of Season 3, Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.